What if just 5 minutes a day could completely change the tone of your family? It's true. It could happen. I've actually seen it happen in families for many years now as they have instituted this powerful meeting format. So in this video, what I'm going to explain to you is how you can put into practice today the 5-minute meeting that changes everything. The meeting is simple and it works. I actually started using it when I was training foster children a long time ago. They're now all grown and gone. But when I first started taking foster children into my home, I recognized that we needed to have a time of day that was a powerful reset. Now, this channel is all about self-government. One of the keys of self-government is to pre-plan or to prepare ahead of time for what you're going to do so that you actually know the direction you're going. You get closer to the mark that way, right? So there's a parenting skill that I teach called pre-teaching. And we have family meetings on a regular basis. So every week we have family meetings, we have couples meetings, we have individual mentor meetings. These meetings each have a certain time limit. So a family meeting is normally 20 minutes, and we have that one time a week as a family. But what I recognized was the power that came out of those family meetings could actually be harnessed daily in order to get the family focused back in. So when our family would go off track, meaning we would forget to use our skills, we would get kind of lazy, maybe selfish, get emotional about things, I knew it was time to have a weekly family meeting. We needed that 20-minute reset because sometimes we would miss those. Sometimes things would go on and we would get going with our Sunday, which is normally when we had the meetings, or maybe we had a family party and then we wouldn't have the meeting. And the whole week felt a little off because of that. So I started these 5-minute little mini meetings that we could have every day as a family. And they happened in the morning. Now, this wasn't the only 5-minute meeting I had, so I want you to know I homeschooled my children. I had 5-minute meetings before independent study. I had 5-minute meetings after independent study so that I would know what they did and we could keep track of all of those things. And, you know, there was lots of little 5-minute meetings, but this particular 5-minute meeting was the morning reset. Okay, the morning reset 5-minute meeting was this powerful time where I would gather the children all together and say, okay, you guys, let's talk about the morning reset. What's going to happen today? All right, this is on the schedule today. Don't forget, we've got this at this time. We wanted to go to the zoo today because of this. And, you know, and we would set those things. And then I would say, but we need to get these other things done too. And we've got to get those done first. So the plan is that this is what we will do. Now, if we can follow instructions and accept no answers and get all that schoolwork done and our chores done and stuff like that, then we should be able to make the lunches and we can eat them on the way to the zoo, and you know, and then we can get there and it'll be so much fun. And they're like, okay. And so it was this very optimistic, we can do this. We set the plan. I do a broad pre-teach, and they might ask a few questions, which might make it take up to that 5 minutes. Now, normally that little statement might take 1 to 2 minutes. So then what do I do with the other 3 minutes? Well, this is the time where I'm going to ask them, now let's work a little bit on our skills just to make sure we've really got them down today. Today, I'd like to focus on following instructions. So do you remember the steps for how to follow an instruction? And then they might say, yes, I do. You look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, do the task immediately, and then check back. So then I would praise them for that. And I would say, yeah, great job. You know all of the steps. Now we're really focusing on the check back, because when we get to the check back, then I'll remember to do my 3-step praise to let you learn cause and effect, that good equals good. So let's just practice right now following instructions. Let's do a few little role plays. So then we role play a couple of practices. I praise them and we declare all is good. So guess what happens for the rest of the day? People are following instructions. They're accepting no answers. In fact, in the day, all I have to do is say, okay, I'm going to give you an instruction. And they're like, oh, oh yeah, I got this. And then they just follow right through. Everything is so much better. Now, as part of the pre-teach, if you feel like you need to, in that morning reset, you could also declare, now don't forget, if we have to take time to do corrections, that's okay, we will, but you'll get an opportunity to earn whatever your negative consequence. In our family, it always was an extra chore because work is the antidote for a sick character. And so I would say you get the opportunity to earn an extra chore, but we'll also do the correction. We'll have to practice things the right way. There's a 7-step process that we go through for correction, and the children know what that is. So I would say now if we have to do a lot of those, that could take a little bit more of our time. So just keep that in mind. But I have no problem doing them, right? So I'm not going to get emotional. I pre-teach myself. I'm not going to be emotional about corrections. I pre-teach them. Don't you be emotional about corrections. It's just part of regular life if we have to do them. But here's our pie in the sky goal. Here's the reality of what might happen. We're all ready. We've practiced together. Here we go. So that's 5 minutes of power that can literally change your day and your week. If you start doing those little power morning reset moments, everyone feels motivated. They feel focused. They know what they're going to do. A lot of parents don't recognize that their children wake up every day and they don't always remember what's happening that day. There's a few children that are planners that might remember what's going on that day, but the majority of children are just waiting for mom and dad to tell them what to do next. And until they tell them, they go wander around. They might look at TV. They might start eating stuff. They might go outside. They don't know what they're going to do until someone tells them what to do. So as parents, please don't get offended if your child doesn't seem to know what to do in the morning. They haven't had their morning reset yet, right? You can also pre-teach before bed, but you're still going to probably have to do that morning reset. Now listen, resets can happen all the time. In fact, in the Teaching Self-Government parenting system, we do pre-teaches all the time about things. Maybe before a particularly hard instruction is given, I might do a pre-teach about how to follow an instruction again, just to make sure they've got that down, because role play is powerful. But I might also give them a pre-teach for how to disagree appropriately with me if I feel like they might want to disagree appropriately about the instruction. And if I'm constantly prepping them about what their options are, what they can do, chances are they're going to pick those options as opposed to have meltdowns and attitude problems and anger outbursts and all of those types of impulsivity problems that can come with being a child. And so suddenly the whole day changes. Suddenly we're just communicating about stuff and there's really no problems to speak of. You know, might have to correct something here and there, but who cares? No big deal. That's part of being a parent, right? There's so much more that I could teach you. In fact, I'd love to share with you more about all of this. It does hinge on calmness. So make sure that you really are learning as much as you can about calmness and getting yourself to that place, because you have to decide you're okay with having these corrective teaching moments. But all of that will be talked about and more on the next video that I have. So there's a video on this channel that is a full-length class. It will really give you a great taste of these skills and principles of self-government that I'm talking about. It's called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. So click on the link to that video next. I'll see you there.